Hello, this is Brian Hegney, instructor of game design at High Point University. This is the third installment of the exciting series about how to blogger. This particular video is called is about post page versus home page, and you must know the difference. If you post your home page to me instead of your post page, what's going to happen? Nothing terrible. I'm just going to be very annoyed. Um, Not very annoyed. It's actually really easy for me to figure it out, but I need you to know this. And the other thing is I need you to not send me to your dashboard. So let's talk about that right now. I am going to log into Blogger. Like, let's say, well, I'm already here at my dashboard, but just so you know, I'm going to type in www.blogger.com, and when I'm logged in, it comes here. Yay. I think I'm going to click this. Let's see, Blogger's new interface is now available automatically. If you want to revert back to legacy interface, use the revert to legacy Blogger. That's interesting. You know what? Exit out. Go ahead, use the new interface. Now, don't do what I'm going to do right next, because I want to show you what happens when I paste the URL, the web address, to this web page. I'm going to copy it and paste it into a new browser where I'm not signed into Blogger. Okay, so this blogger.com blog.post/88978 blah blah blah. I get URL submissions like this for blog posts all the time. What happens is when I paste that into my blog, Blogger says, "Oh, you're not logged in yet and you can't see." Okay, well, that's annoying because even if I were to log in, which I'll do right now. Oh, two-step verification. Oh my god. 167900. Okay. It didn't take me. Oh, of course. Hold on, I did that really wrong because of course it brought me to my blogger. Let me log out. That's what happens. You might think, hey, Hegney will be able to get this, but guess what? Let's send it to my other account. Just Brian Hegney. What is it going to say? Well, it brings me to my stuff, okay? This is not the blog that I was looking for. Okay, so why is that? That's because this is the dashboard. This is the dashboard, and if let's copy this, come back here. Well, let's actually hit that. Yeah, it doesn't go, right? Because this is the dashboard for whoever is logged in. And so when you're logged in, you don't want me to have access to your blogs and your blog posts. This is where I can set all the settings. I can delete posts. I can delete blogs. I can add blogs. I can do all sorts of stuff. Okay, so let's say you want to give me that introducing Hegney URL. Well, okay, now you know that it's not the overall dashboard, because that would be bad if anyone had access to that wasn't you. Now let's click on introducing Hegney. You might think, okay, well, let me grab this. Control C. I'm going to tell you right now, this won't work because it's very similar. What this URL is a link. Oh, look at it. It's actually not telling stuff. So in the olden days of old Blogger, it would tell you that I'm not logged in and I can't view that content. And the reason is you do not want anyone to have access to this page. This is where you edit, right? If I had you do an introduction to yourself and you gave this link to somebody and they could open it up and see this, they could do all sorts of edits to your introduction. So you don't want people having access to the back end. This is the back end of website design. In one sense, this is how it's actually front end. So this is the meat or the nits and grits for how a web page looks. Okay, so how do we get to the real URL for this web page. Well, let's go back to your dashboard. And this little eyeball for every blog post is how you can see the blog post. Now, I'm going to come back here because I'm going to open up another tab because there's also this View Blog button. And this View Blog button is not to be confused with this View button. These are very different things. I'm going to click View Blog. I'm going to right-click or control-click if you're on a Mac and choose Open Link in a new tab. And just look at the tab names. This tab that I opened first says Introducing Hegney. This tab name that I opened second from this View Blog button is Brian's Quips and Queries and question marks. So one of these was a link to the blog post, this one, and one of these was a link to the entire blog, this one. The blog post is just one post. The blog homepage, is all of the posts. So if we had 50 blog posts, there might be 50 blog post little blurbs on this front page. This will always have just the one post. So this is a web page with the post, or the post page. This is the home page of the blog. Normally, the latest blog post is going to be up here first. You can change those things in the settings if you want to, but for the most part, the latest blog post is always on the top. So if I want someone to always go to my Introducing Hegney blog post if they want to get to know me, I always give them this URL. And finally, this is the URL where I can hit Control-C or Command-C on a Mac. Go to a new blogger, paste that into the URL, hit enter, and it should take me to that page of just the URL. Likewise, if you want someone to not necessarily see just the one post, but like check out whichever post they want, then you'd go to your home page of the blog, Brian's Quips, Queries, and else.blogspot.com. Hit Control-C or Command-C on a Mac, and in a new tab, I'm going to paste that. And it brings me to the overall blog. Now, for your first blog, this might look a little weird, okay? And I'm going to show you why. I'm actually going to delete this second introduction. Yes, delete it. And I'm going to come back to the blog, the home page of the blog, refresh it, and I just want to point out the difference between the page of your first blog, the page of a blog with only one blog post, looks almost similar to the web page of the blog post itself. Some of these templates look a little different, but you can see that even if I click read more, actually this will take me to the web page. Okay, so there we go. So with one blog post, it can be confusing, but when you start getting more and more and more blog posts, the home page will look like a typical home page. So that's the difference. Make sure you post the URL to your blog post webpage and not just your typical blog homepage. Okay, in the next video, we will look at how to submit your blog post to Blackboard. See you then. Bye.